Hi, everybody. Hello. Sorry about the low quality today. Of course, there's a lot of echo and you might hear some background noise. Sorry about that. It's been a bit of a while since we posted a video. There's been some videos for to edit. You just haven't seen them. A bit of a long story, really. But we're back, hopefully, now. Today, I don't know why I'm talking so weird, but today we'll be doing the comparison between a lot of different racing series. Of course, they're all very different. This is part one, obviously part series. This would be probably the longer part, but we'll see. So let's get straight into it with Formula One, of course, the pinnacle of motorsport. So these cars, of course, are the fastest racing cars in the world, although they are being challenged by the new hypercars in Le Mans, but we'll see about that. We'll see. But so currently, the 2022 regulations have raised the weight of Formula 1 cars a little bit. So now they weigh about 795 kilos, 1,000 horsepower on those engines, and they actually produce 750 kilos of downforce, which is a lot. Let's put it that way. Enough, of course, for them to be able to drive theoretically, of course, on the roof of a tunnel. Because they make so much downforce, it just about sticks the car to the roof. I'm not sure if it's the same with 2022 regs, but definitely last year and 2021, a few years before that as well, that was able to do so. Of course, these cars are used in most circuits, basically. A FIA grade A circuit or grade 1 circuit. Not all of them, of course, but a lot of them. So that would be street circuits and permanent circuits as well. So these cars, of course, want to be a very quick car, of course, with lots of downforce, to, of course, be single-seater car. So yeah, that's the Formula 1. We move on to Formula 2 and Formula 3. These two, of course, the junior cars. This is the step ladder to Formula 1. So let's go Formula 3 first. So these cars will make about 380 horsepower to 600-ish kilos. So they obviously haven't got a lot of power, but they do weigh a little bit less than the F1 cars. This is, of course, they're not going to be as fast as an F1 car. They will obviously do pretty much the same tracks as Formula 1 does. And this is one of the step ladders up to Formula 1, really. And then Formula 2, which is 620 horsepower to 755 kilos. Formula 2, of course, when you're on the cusp of getting into a Formula 1 seat, of course, not everyone makes it from Formula 2. Very few actually do. It's because not many people make it to F1 ever. But these cars, of course, aren't far off the Formula 1 cars. They're not the second fastest racing cars by any stretch of the imagination, because they aren't the pinnacle of a certain type of racing. Of course, single-seaters is F1. Probably most on whole is really F1. But moving on then to another single-seater class, which is the Formula E. Of course, the electric racing, we don't have brake horsepower as such. I couldn't find any anyways. So we have 350 kilowatts generated to an 840 kilo car. Of course, these cars aren't meant for top speed. They race around tight and twisty street circuits. So they aren't really going to be geared for top end, which is why the electric motors come into play so well there. And obviously these cars is pretty much the pinnacle of electric racing. But yeah, let's move on to a bit of a different one, of course, in World Rally Championship, WRC, and World Rally Cross as well. So if you don't know what rallying is, which you probably do, but if you don't, it's off-road on dirt tracks and stuff like that. Off-road racing, really, on kind of gravel or dirt paths. And it's pretty insane. These cars have 380 horsepower to 1,190 kilos. That's the regulations for minimum weight. It doesn't sound like a great deal, does it? But actually, in reality, these things are mental. They're not going to hit high top end because there's very windy circuits. Leo, put some rally clips on, please. But, you can see them now. Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, of course, rallying is one of the main kind of fatal racing series. Many deaths, of course. But we'll probably do a bit more on rallying, because there's a lot to talk about in rallying. Of course, there's Group B, there's a lot, basically. So maybe in the future we'll be talking about some Group B stuff, because I'm really into rallying. Moving on then into World Rallycross WRX. Now these cars are a bit more powerful. They have 600 horsepower, it's 1,300 kg. These, of course, this is probably one you probably won't know, or well, you're more likely not to know. World Rallycross. It's pretty much very similar cars to World Rally Championship. Of course, they're just usually hatchbacks or something of that sort, a road legal car, but of course all completely modified. These will do very short circuits off-road and on-road, so like half tarmac, half gravel, around that kind of marker, and they are pretty crazy, let's put it that way, just about as crazy as World Rally Championship. It's a 4-lap race overall, so it's very much of a sprint with a kind of heats semi-final, final system. Pretty crazy. If you ever want to go watch some motorsport, you haven't got enough to watch. You have a low budget, you can pop down to a World Rallycross track, Linden Hill, of course, and watch some rallycross. It can be amateur and very professional as well. It's a great way to get into motorsport. Unfortunately, it's still pretty expensive, because that's motorsport for you, so that's not, fortunately, not where I'm going. I was planning on going to the Junior Saloon Car Championship, but it didn't really work out. Money-wise, just couldn't do it, but that is the sad reality of motorsport. Yeah. So yeah, World Rallycross. These cars are pretty crazy. I do love a bit of rallycross, so that's definitely one I recommend watching if you've never watched motorsport before. But that is the end of part 1, because it just is. That's the way life works. Not everything is permanent. I don't know what that was about, but there we go. Please, if you've watched to this point, please do subscribe. I'm sorry that I sound kind of depressed right now. I'm not depressed. I'm just kind of keep quiet because I'm kind of in school. I have a bit of time off and I have nothing to do, so I thought, well, I may as well record a YouTube video. I just wanted to keep it a bit quieter. Back to my usual livelier self later. Hopefully, for part 2, I'll probably record part 2 at home. So if you enjoyed, please do consider subscribing, because it helps out a ton. We've got a very, of course, small channel we're hoping to grow. We also have a Reddit now. Everyone else in the group is kind of like, why are you making a Reddit? But it's pretty cool, so go on there, you can drop in some video ideas, that'd be very helpful. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and that'll be it now. That's me signing out. Goodbye. Thank you for watching yet again. Just subscribe, okay?